Do you enjoy Project Zomboid? Do you somewhat enjoy The Walking Dead? Well, you're in luck. The mod The Walking Dead project, made by the way more talented than me, Waldron, combines both the brutal experience of Project Zomboid and well, you can see where I'm going with this. Today I'll be experiencing this mod, not as Ricky Dicky Doodog Rhymes, but as Jeremiah, an obese, unfit police officer who, instead of wearing a hospital gown, because I couldn't find one, is wearing a bright blue bathrobe. From the very start, one thing was made clear. Waldron didn't see much of the sun when making the mod. After shitting myself from seeing Rick just dead in his bed, I looked at the entire hospital. There wasn't much. All I found really was a hiking bag and multiple new dance moves. Crutch in hand, I went outside the building, and to my disappointment, there was absolutely nothing to kill. I went around searching all the military camps, and one thing was just clear: I really wanted to shoot shit. Carried on wandering. I'm not entirely sure why the crutch was my main choice of weapon. I found 3 victims, or 2, I can't remember what it is, I'm doing a voiceover. Carried on just wandering. I had no idea where I was. I mean, I beat the shell of this woman, but it didn't really matter because, I mean, none of it really matters. I then popped pills on top of this dead woman's body because I can. I am Jeremiah. I'm not really entirely sure how this happened, but I ended up taking on the entire hospital ward. Sitting there basking in my own victory. This little shit jumped up on us and nearly killed us. Luckily, when I was 8, I took a first aid course. I'm sure it'll come in handy with a laceration on the neck. You win some, you lose some. He kept on coming, and it was at this point the side that actually pisses off. By himself, he reckons he can take on Jeremiah with a crutch in hand. Pathetic. My luck soon turned around as I found a car with a tablespoon worth of fuel in it, and it drove us to nowhere. I've seen the M1 with fewer cars on it. Despite being on the verge of collapse, my Jeremiah soldiered on through the highway to hell and found a sweet shop. Now, I can't say we've done in this sweet shop, but let's just say he'll do anything for a dehydrated meat stick. Carrying on through the weirdly constructed town, I managed to take on 8 zombies despite my condition, worsening by the minute. I'm not exactly sure how Jeremiah had the strength in him to even kill anyone, but each to their own. I carried on, looting through the building, until eventually I found a bandage so Jeremiah could replace the one that was soaked in his own blood. Look at him, good as new. I let the poor bastard have a nap. I found a watermelon and realised I couldn't make him eat it as a whole, so I abandoned it on the floor. As I continued stumbling on, I found the pack of youths outside of a nice little shopping centre. Being terrified of social confrontation, I ran away and dove into a different building, and gave my character a much needed smoke break to deal with all the stress of seeing other people. Despite having a boring interior, on top of the roof I found a low pixelated version of Merle handcuffed to the railing, and I'll be honest, it scared the shit out of us. Hearing the rowdiness of some of the locals inside the shop, I popped some pills and forced a dehydrated meat stick back down my character's throat. Dear lord. And readied myself for the fight ahead. Obviously, as you know, I came out victorious despite only using a crutch, but there was way more than I thought there would be, and I started to panic quite heavily. With new weaponry, I laid the fabled crutch to rest at the bottom of the staircase in hopes that it would trip someone up. I'm not entirely sure why, but after killing this one zombie by himself, I started fucking emoting. Clearly at this point I didn't really care for Jeremiah's life, as I started boogieing down before killing anyone. I have no defense at this part. I was just clearly losing my sanity, and I had completely forgot the main purpose of the video, which was to show off the mod. Whilst looting wherever this shit is, the game just decided to jump scare us despite there being fuck all inside. Fun fact, whilst looting this building I was actually discussing my plans of streaming, because this video wasn't meant to be a voiceover. I recorded an hour worth of footage and didn't once realise I wasn't recording my audio. So yeah, it was by this point in the recording I lost all interest in Jeremiah's life and wanted him to get chowed on like a little dog treat. So I just opened fire on the locals and nearly died multiple times. Seeing as I hadn't really showed off much of the mod, I made it my aim to go and find the sheriff's office, until I realised that wasn't actually made. So the next best thing was Rick's house, so I could recreate the beautiful little scene of glory. Being in potentially one of the worst states I've ever seen a character on Project Zomboid be in, I replaced Jeremiah's bandage and took refuge in a little shithole, where inside I found a sledgehammer. Realising that I couldn't actually demolish the entire building as one, I soon left. Now you may be thinking to yourself, average, what do you want to do with this sledgehammer? Use it as a weapon, of course. I managed to take down 2, well, 1.5 or so. Sticking to Jeremiah tradition, I went straight for the alcohol, before hashing out with one of the local youths. He may have got the better of me at first, but the sledgehammer always wins. Despite the house being slowly surrounded by more rebels, I took my sweet old time eating this chicken. Seeing that there was more social confrontation outside the front window, I closed the blind, and I fled in hopes of finding Rick's house. Armed with a pixelated map and Christopher Columbus-like navigating, I eventually found Rick's house and I started looting it, and I found absolutely nothing, and the basement was also completely barren of anything useful. So I decided to do what I'm best at, get Jeremiah absolutely shit-faced and get himself killed, but go out with a bang. How would I do that? Well, it was easy. Cue the heist music. Step 1, get shit-faced. I've already done that. Step 2, fight anyone that looks at me funny. Step 3, get bit. Step 4, light one up. Step 5, scream his lungs out. And step 6, dance his little heart out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please show some support. Sorry this took so long to make. I was once again ill. My immune system is just pathetic. I'm planning on making a return. I hope I'll be a bit more consistent this time, but let us know what you think about the streaming thing, blah blah blah, you know what I mean. Bye, love you, bye.